warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. My name is السيت, and today I'm going to be translating Surah Al-Layl and speaking about a few of the messages that are present in the chapter. So reading the Quran in Arabic is extremely important, but the reflection on it and understanding it in our first language allows us to connect with it more. So the chapter that we're going to be talking about is considered Makkiyya. And what does that mean when a surah is Makkiyya? So what considered as Makkiyya were the ones that were told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam before Hijrah, and those after Hijrah are termed Madani. So in Makki surahs, Allah talks about Tawheed and connecting the faith of the people and correcting it. While Madani surahs, Allah talks about commands and one's relations with his family, with other people, etc. So many messages are shown in the 92nd surah, Al-Layl, or in English, the night. So of course it starts with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. And the first 3 ayat translate to, by the night as it envelops, by the day as it appears in brightness, by him who created male and female. Here Allah takes an oath, he swears by his creation. And Allah is the only one who can do this. Allah swearing by the creation is basically him swearing by his own self. So when Allah takes an oath of the things he created, he's simply taking an oath of himself and his greatness. We, on the other hand, can only swear by Allah. You know, when we say, Wallahi, I didn't do this, Wallahi, I did this, we can only swear by Allah. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever takes an oath upon other than Allah has associated partners to Allah. So they're basically guilty of committing shirk. So Tawheed is believing in the oneness of God and not associating any partners to him. But shirk is quite literally the opposite. It is when we associate partners with Allah, and it's what you are doing when you swear by anything other than Allah. And this seems common in our lives when we hear people swearing on their mothers, swearing on their fathers, swearing on someone's grave, someone's life, etc. Have you heard that before? Yeah, but that is sinful. We are not allowed to do that. So again, we can only swear to Allah, but still do not take that lightly when you swear by his name. To continue the surah, ayah number 4 translates to, certainly your efforts and deeds are diverse, different in aims and purpose. So everyone's efforts are different, and they have different purposes and intentions when they do something. And then Allah describes 2 different and opposite purposes. But as a side note, just to let you know, in the Quran, when it says we in the Quran, in the translation of it, it is only referring to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because we know that we usually refers to more than one person, right? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only one. So this is called the royal we, and usually we use words like me and I to refer to one person, and we use the word we to refer to more than one. But in the Quran, again, it's a royal we. So when Allah uses we or us, it is only referring to Allah. And Allah does this to show his greatness and superiority. Okay? So ayat 5 to 10 translates to, as for him who gives in charity and keeps his duty to Allah and fears him and believes in al-husna, the best, we will make smooth for him the path of ease and goodness. But he who is a greedy miser and thinks himself self-sufficient and denies al-husna, we will make smooth for him the path for difficulty. What does this mean? Those who hoard their wealth, spending as little as possible, and consider themselves free from need, like, I don't need anybody at all in this life or the next, will fail and will find their path difficult. But those who give and continue to believe and worship Allah will be granted a path of ease. His life will be easy when he does this. So those are the two types of purposes and people that Allah describes in this chapter. And this relates back to believing in al-husna, right? As a reward from Allah, Allah will compensate you, will pay you back if you spend in Allah's way, or bless you with paradise. That's what happens when you believe in al-husna. So ayah 11 translates to, and what will his wealth avail him when he goes down in destruction? So think of the akhirah, right? The afterlife. When nothing but your deeds are with you, will the wealth and the money that you have saved be important to you? This emphasizes the point of dependence on wealth being dangerous, right? If you spend your whole life keeping your money to just yourself and saving it and saving it and saving it and not wanting to spend at all in Allah's way, that it's dangerous for you, right? You want to spend to do good. So again, this ayah is telling you, what will that money that you spent do for you in the afterlife? It won't help you, it won't save you. Then ayat 12 to 17 say, truly on us is to give guidance, and truly to us belong the last hereafter and the first this world. Meaning it is on Allah alone to give guidance, and the akhirah, the hereafter, and the first this world belong to Allah. And then it says, therefore I have warned you of a blazing fire of hell. None shall enter it except the most wretched. So nobody is going to enter it unless they are very, very bad, unless they are wretched, who denies and turns away. Those who don't admit the truth are the ones that will enter hell. And al-muttaqun, the pious, meaning the deeply religious, will be removed from it. Those will be the people that will not go to hell. The surah is concluded with ayat 18 to 21. He who spends his wealth for increase in self-purification and who has in mind no favor from anyone to be paid back except to seek the countenance of the Lord, the Most High, he surely will be pleased when he will enter paradise. So many of us, when we do something for someone, we expect to be paid back, right? We want something back from them when we do something for someone. But those who spend their wealth with the intention of just cleansing themselves, of cleaning their soul, and not intending to be paid back except by Allah, so you're doing good, and you don't expect anything from anyone. You just want to be paid back by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeking only His approval, and you will be pleased when you enter Jannah if that is your intention, if that is your purpose. And many of us, when we do something for someone, like I said, we expect something, but it has to be the opposite when you do good. And again, it's all about intention and action. Intending. It's like your purpose, what you believe and why you do something. That intention to do good and only for the sake of Allah, sacrificing what you have in this world and the money, even though you earned it, but you want something more. You're seeking something more. So sacrificing your time to do good, wanting the privilege of entering Jannah rather than keeping your money to yourself and keeping your time selfishly, wanting the next life over this dunya. And we need to always remember that we will always be in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We will always need Him. And there is nothing more important in this world than pleasing Allah, because nothing else will save you. We need to remember this because, like I said, a lot of us sometimes feel like we're doing good in this world, so I don't need Allah. But astaghfirullah, that's very incorrect, because if you are doing well in this life, you should be thanking Allah, right? You should be thinking of Allah. Anytime something good happens, you should be thanking Allah. Something bad happens, you repent to Allah. You're always thinking and you're always in need of Allah. And it is common knowledge that while money can be the cause of evil, it can also be the cause of good, but usually depending and being so attached to money leads to evil, right? And when somebody acquires a large amount of wealth, sometimes their obedience, listening to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fades. Because like I said, they they're believing that they're independent and they're not in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anymore. They feel like they're doing well enough in this life. But this is very, very dangerous when you feel like you are not in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it's an unhealthy attitude that causes us to be greedy and causes us relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and our iman, our faith, to decrease, and it becomes weak. And these messages are all shown in Surah Al-Layl, right? In order to prevent ourselves from falling into this and falling into this danger, we need to keep our iman strong. We have to reflect on our intentions, our purposes, and we should be the ones of, like it says in the surah, the ones that give in charity and keep their duty to Allah and fear Him and believe in Al-Husna, believe in the good, believe in the greatness, because Allah will make smooth for him the path of ease and goodness.